Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Pycon APAC 2024 second session, hosted here at Nadatul Ulama, Yogyakarta. My name is Wafika, and I will be your moderator for this season. It is my pleasure to introduce our speaker for today's event, Takayuki Shimizukawa. Today, we are fortunate to have them at Pycon APAC, where they will be sharing insights on strategy in practice. So, and time and place, time is yours.
My name is Takayuki Shimizukawa. Title of my talk is Structure in Practice. I have agreed that abided by the Pycon APAC Code of Conduct. Can I start? Okay. Are you ready? Okay, thank you. Hello. First of all, can I take a picture with? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Maybe. Okay. Thank you. Say hi. Hi. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Now I posted this photo, and now I started. Let me introduce myself. My name is Takayuki Shimizukawa, and I live in Tokyo, Japan, and I love spicy food and craft beers. I'm a Python programmer since Python 2.3, about 20 years ago, and I'm a programmer and Python programming and programmer involved in organizing Python communities and board member of the Pycon JP Association. So let's get started. Have you ever had any problem with logs, implementing and tracking? Have you? Do you have? Okay, thank you. Maybe 20 people. Okay, thank you. 20%, 10% or 20% member incoming is have experience or trouble or problem, I think. Implementing logs and implementing and tracking logs is not easy. And however, it's important to output logs for users is useful. So for service operation and make sure that can be tracked. For example, when using logger.info like this, with using format specifier like %d, %s, %d, and %d, blah, blah. So it's easy to make mistakes and not straightforward for me. It would be convenient if it could pass them as a key value like this. Key value style user equal user and tenant equal tenant, blah, 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 is, I think it is convenient to use. Embedding context is also troublesome. While log can show when and what, they often don't show who did what operation when a certain request was made in a single log line. For tracking, I need to carry user and request ID and URL so on across all logs. I think a global setting function for setting a persistent context value would be useful. I also want to pass context information across processes such as Celery and AWS Lambda or other processes. We also need to consider the log format. With Python's standard logger, we need to set the order and format of time, name, level name, message, so on, but you might not want to think about it too much. Also, we should consider log output style. Above this output is a traditional format, but it is not enough, I think. JSON output has become common recently. It is supported by many log aggregation services like AWS CloudWatch logs or other services. Most importantly, are you having trouble tracking logs in your operation? During service operation, error investigation starts from the moment as error occurred. We receive an error notification and then need to somehow find the context information that caused the error. Log tracking is especially difficult when dealing with processes that span multiple systems. In this talk, I will introduce how to output logs in a distributed environment in the cloud era by including context information and formatting them in JSON. I will show example of integrating struct log into actual web application development and passing context from Django to Celery, AWS Lambda, and Sentry to make tracking easier when problems occur. Next part is structured logging and context information required for log output in Python plus web in the cloud era. Let's compare before and after using JSON log output. Traditional logs are easy for humans to read, but difficult for machines to process. In this example, single log is split into multiple lines. It makes hard to find important information when searching with keyword by machines. When we adapt JSON logs, we are encoded into single line of JSON, including line breaks. This makes them easier to machine to process, and human can read them easily if appropriate line breaks are added. The ease of processing them programmatically makes it easier to filter logs. JSON log can be easily filtered with tools like CloudWatch Logs Insights. If there is a per request ID in the AWS Lambda logs or Sentry error notification, you can easily filter related logs based on the request ID. In the next part, I will introduce struct log. In my opinion, it's a recommended logging library for the cloud era. Okay. Struct log is a logging library created by Hinek. He is also the author of ATAS, which was the basis of data class library of Python standard. Struct log can work alongside Python's standard logger or replace it entirely. Its API is more user-friendly than the standard logger and allows for easy customization. It supports both text and JSON output and easily include context information. Additionally, it can embed context information into log output by external libraries like Django or Celery. Struct log setup and usage. Let me explain the struct log output provided by struct log, structured log output by struct log. On the right side is an example of a Python standard log output showing logger name, process ID, thread ID, and log context. But it is not less information. What is this? And 1298 blah, blah, is I don't know what's the number. Actually, it's process ID and thread ID, but not useful. When you set up struct log for log output, it output in JSON format as shown on the left side. Besides the log message page saved, it includes label, logger, timestamp, file name, line number, function name, service version, IP address, user information, so on, which are automatically output without needing to pass them when calling logger function. Setting up Python's standard logging isn't just a few lines or simple either. However, struct log setup seems even more complex by comparison. With a bit of effort, you can get programmability and a high level of customization. Struct log is to make log output itself simple to perform. However, its setup might be a bit challenging. Depending on your configuration settings, through cooperate with Python standard logging is possible too. Since I can't explain everything in this talk, so I've prepared working example code on GitHub. If you want to see the code, please search struct log example on GitHub. Struct log example on GitHub. Please search. Once you finished setting up struct log, let's try actually outputting some logs. The code upper side using Python standard logging module. Even with the Python standard logger interface, if the standard struct log settings are applied, the output will be in JSON format. The code bottom side using the struct log API instead. The get underscore logger function is a snake case style. And it's easy not to have to pass dunder name for Python module name. Upper side require get large logger function require dunder name attribute for module name. But struct get underscore logger function not needed that. For key value log output, you can also pass key value pair to the log output. With the standard Python logger, the keyword argument extra accept a dictionary that contains key and values. If you are only using the standard Python logger, you will also need to set which key to output in advance in the formatter. With struct log, you just pass key equal value styles, syntax directory. Also, struct log's formatter can output to the log without having to decide in advance which keys you want to output. It's less confusing and easier, I think. Okay. Let's take a short break. This is a logo of struct log. Before using futuristic beaver, log loving futuristic beaver by Russell Case Maggie is a Django committer, and a few years ago he had keynote speaking on Pycon US. Right side is a newer version of struct log logo, log loving non-futuristic beaver. It's made by Lin Root She is founder of the Pilates community. Okay, let's go next. Structural contextual information output along with their useful usage. Let's talk about how structural outputs context information. By outputting context information, you can search using request IDs as key in CloudWatch logs insights. You can quickly check all logs from Django, Celery, Lambda, all at once. If you can use the request ID as a key. In Django, there is a package called Django-structuralog that automatically adds context information. If you want to add your own context information, please use bind context bars function like this. Bind is permanent. In this case, the value are permanent and must be cleared at the end of the request. Next example is bind, not bound, not bind. This case is bound. You can also bind context only within a with block like this. Bound context bars set context information only within the scope. This is useful when you want to bind contextual information to logs within a with block, like in batch processing. And bounded values is also output if some functions called logging library, logger info or logger something. It's very useful. And passing context from Django to Celery. Here's how to pass structural context from Django to Celery. Sometimes you want to pass context not just within a Django process, but across processes. To pass context to Celery, the Celery option in Django structural package is useful. By configuring it, the context is automatically passed to Celery workers. Here is how to set up it. After installing, follow the usual step for using Celery with Django and add the Django structural init step class with the add function during initialization. This ensures that the current logger's context is passed on the worker side when the worker starts. If you don't want to pass only specific keys in context information, you can control this by implementing signal functions as described in the official documentation. For more detail, please refer official documentation or my GitHub structurals example code. Next, about integrating with AWS Lambda. When invoking Lambda function from Python processes, I want to include the context information in Lambda logs too. In this case, before invoking Lambda, get current context data by get context bars function provided by structuralog, and passing the context data to Lambda, like this, just contain the dictionary for payload in the payload to invoke the AWS Lambda. Integrating structuralog with Sentry. What is Sentry? Sentry is a service for error tracking and performance monitoring. Maybe I use this service first since maybe 2012 or 13. At first, the Sentry is open source product and all source code maybe still opened, but the Sentry, like monitoring service is heavily incoming traffics, and it's hard to maintain the servers by self. So now I use I use the Sentry cloud services. It's pricing is several pricing, and I can use free tier for small services, small usages. And detecting errors, Sentry notified it to the developers and display detailed information. This is useful when troubleshooting, as it automatically collects various of information. Error occurs, Sentry interprets the traceback and displays the source code of the line where it occurred on Sentry services. If you ink Sentry with GitHub, you can open the relevant code immediately by links. It's very convenient. Sentry also integrated with GitLab or some other repositories, I think. But right after introducing structure logs to our service, it became quite difficult to use. The reason of this is that the Sentry plugin does not expect tracebacks in JSON format. So finally, I got JSON formatted traceback text on Sentry information, and I cannot read this. It's very troublesome for me. So as a countermeasure, we introduced the struct-log Sentry library. Struct-log Sentry is a plugin that passes log data from struct-log as a processor to Sentry. By adding struct-log Sentry before tracking or JSON formatting, it sends data before JSON formatting to Sentry. Okay, slide 13. Before I show, I display the, okay, not works. Okay. Before I display the structure have a processor and setup code, and first to processing many, adding filter level and timestamp, log name, and log, blah, 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 blah. And finally, stack info renderer. This is rendering the traceback if it exists, and format exception info if it exists. So this processor converts raw traceback into a JSON format, and finally, okay, outside of these processors, the struct log dictionaries structure convert into JSON format. Then Sentry plugin catch the raw JSON format and sending this information to Sentry service. So Sentry processor insert it formatting exception info before formatting exception information before formatting, and catch all data here, and this plugin is sending information to Sentry. Note that Sentry default logging integration need to explicitly disabled because the Sentry integration also sending logging integration plugin. So if also enable this, the both sending information is duplicated and the specify event level equal none means stop duplicating, not send logging information from Sentry SDK. It is needed. Structural Sentry also sends structural information to Sentry. In addition, you can also add context information as tags in Sentry. If the context information such as request ID is sent to Sentry by structural Sentry, it will be easier to track. Summary. As a summary, let's look at operation before and after. Before using structural, searching and investigating logs took time when error occurred. As mentioned, I used to searching over and over again, finding error logs and finding the log times and filtered range of time and finding. Finally, I found the cause of the request who requested. This is the before using structural. After using structural, most of the necessary information is available when viewing error notification in Sentry. This allows for quick assessment of urgency. Even if you need to look at the logs, you can easily find the related log by searching with request ID. This significantly reduces investigation time. In using Sentry and CloudWatch logs, to make better use of them, we implemented the following structural, Django structural, and structural Sentry. And what we are able to achieve, don't bother with log string formatting and easily add contextual information and continue the context across processes and easy track with structured log and consistent context information. Finally, quick assess urgency when error occurred. Okay, that's all. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you very much. First now, to question. Two question.
We use Grafana logging.
Grafana, okay.
Yeah, to log the error and other stuff. So how good is or can we implement and how integrate struct log to Grafana?
Grafana. Oh, sorry. I think actually I did not use Grafana Loki, but I think it is a distributed trace collector, and I think Grafana also accepts logging information. So maybe somebody creates sending logging to Loki, but like structural Sentry, or I read the structural Sentry, but it is not too long, so that calls internally Sentry SDK's function to sending log. So I think it is easy to create another plugin for other services. So yeah.
And so if there is no specification
Mhm.
to the Grafana or Loki,
Mhm.
so I think it will be like before using Sentry
Yeah, yeah.
Structlog, it
Uh-huh.
is
Mhm.
permitted
Yeah.
properly.
Yeah, yeah. But if Grafana Loki accepts the JSON log format, it is not need to customize. I think. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to ask you about the transporter, the transport. Let's say I want to store the transport into bucket like S3 or maybe
Excuse me. Backup.
bucket S3 bucket or maybe cloud Google Cloud Storage. Is
Uh-huh.
there
Yeah.
Strava support to transport that logs to the bucket storage in the cloud provider?
Sorry, I cannot catch you about.
I
Sorry.
mean,
Uh-huh.
sometimes we want to store our logs in the cloud, like the storage.
Storage.
Yes. Is Struggle is support that features, or we need to create some library,
Crypt.
create
Yeah.
the custom library because you are showing to transport your logs to CloudWatch. But what happen if I want to transport our logs to bucket storage like S3 or something?
Actually, I don't have any idea, but if you need to encryption, encryption or
I
sending
mean,
is
just the for raw
S,
logs.
S, okay,
Just for
okay,
raw
okay, okay.
logs, I want to store in the S3 or
S3 or
yes.
okay. My experience, the CloudWatch logs connect with S3 backup with Firehose or something. So I can, I think automation is great. I maybe we can create the automating log transfer from AWS CloudWatch logs to S3.
So we
Yeah.
need to like export the log as a file and then create another automation to store that logs file into S3.
Uh,
No,
okay. If you have time, let's talk about talk it about after the session.
yes.
Okay. Sorry.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for Takazuki Shimizuka for answer the question and for your insightful presentation. Please give a round of applause to our students. We have you found insightful and exploring pattern in your project, and big thank you to everyone to participate today. Have a great day and enjoy your another session after this. Thank you.
Huh? Oh, yep.
I want to ask
Oh, yep.
basically the difference between the basic logging and the struct is that in struct log you write the logs into a JSON file format